You are listening to the Be a Better Being podcast, hosted by the founder of Better Beings, Michelle Zellner. Michelle's experiences have equipped her with knowledge and perspective, and for nearly 3 decades, she has been informing, influencing, and inspiring thousands on their journeys. This show spotlights guests of diverse backgrounds and areas of expertise, but they all align with Michelle's purpose and passion to help you be a better human being. There is something for everyone on their way to a healthier, happier life. Enjoy the show.
Greetings. Thank you for tuning into the Be a Better Being podcast. This is episode 137, released on May 12th. May is Mental Health Awareness and Physical Activity Month, and I don't know if it was intentional to highlight these two facets of well-being in the same month, but it is so perfect because, I believe movement is medicine, head to toe, inside and out. It takes care of so many things. And it's obviously really crucial for supporting mental health as well. So I have been 2 incredible women coming on this month who are both super passionate about fitness in very different ways. And you are in for a treat today with my guest, Maggie Lentz. She is a 25-time marathon runner, a 2-time ultra marathoner. She's completed all 6 world major marathons. She has a dream to run marathons on all 7 continents and is about to take off her 5th one by racing through Patagonia in Chile. I'm exhausted just talking about this, but there is so much more to Maggie. She is a USA track and field certified coach. She's an INEOS ambassador. You'll have to tell me what that is. And the founder of Hello Freedom, a wellness performance company that helps busy people thrive. So Maggie, thank you so much for being here.
No, thank you for having me. What a treat. What a pleasure. If you can tell me to talk about one thing and one thing alone, it would be health and wellness. And by that, I mean everything, the encompassing soul, body, mind connection that we all have. And it's just such a pleasure to have connected with you, Michelle. And I love being here. So thank you for having me.
Well, I love being here too, and that you are here. And just to give the audience a little context, you and I have both affiliated with this incredible supplement company, and we were at their Make One conference in March. And I walked into the gym. It's a health conference when the hotel gym is packed. What's happening here? I walk into the gym and this gorgeous woman approaches me and says, "I know you." I'm like, okay. I had done a little video for the group and I think you recognized me from there, but immediately your energy, your aura, your spirit, everything was like, oh, I need to know this person. So here we are. Fitness brought us together, right? Wellness and fitness brought us together. So
actually, some of my favorite. Yes, go ahead.
Well, I would love to just have the audience have a little bit of backstory about you, who you are, where you're from. Obviously, where did this passion for running marathons come from? And we'll kind of dive in and branch out from there.
Yes. So, I've been doing this now for 18 years. This was not the sport of choice. I grew up, playing volleyball, playing basketball. So really running to us was punishment, right? And I wasn't into running until later on, like right after college. Unfortunately, my father did not have a really good relationship with his health. And he passed. He was a diabetic. He tried the best he could, but he had no resources. All he could do was just kind of take, to face value, whatever the doctors would have. And at that time it was, diabetes was it wasn't something that is as studied and as well known as it is today. And when that happened, it just destroyed my world. My whole entire world just come crashing down. And I swore, I was so mad at the fact that my dad had passed and I was not able to be with him anymore, as him being, one of the best, he was my best friend, right? And so I just thought there is no way that I'm going to go through that or put my future family, I didn't have a family at that time, through that I just took on literally to like, cause I couldn't play volleyball. I mean, there was nobody, like you can't just do that, go out and do that. So I just literally took to the street and I said from here to here, I'm going to go running. I'm going to sweat a little bit, and I would cry because I hated it. And I was like, okay, I got to do this again. And then I kind of started just setting goals. And I, of course, competitive minds, since I had already done, volleyball for so many years competitively, I picked it up, and one person believed in me, and they said they saw what I could do. And they literally just brought in some advice and some, I met some people at the right time, and that's how it all began. It was one person who said, I think that you were born to do this. And I believed him. And even if he probably meant it as a nice compliment or not, maybe he was right. I think he was right. It was enough for me to believe that I could do it. And it was just, I've never looked back, because I found out that through marathoning is when I find my best self, and when I can really, really take life into parallels and take life as it comes, and not try to get out of pain and not try to get out of situations. I just deal with the situation as it is, every day at a time, just like every mile at a time. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's such a great metaphor for life, right? Way back, I'm glad I checked the box early on. I completed the Honolulu Marathon. I intended to only ever do it once. I got talked into doing it a second time, which was fine. I'm not going to say I ran it. We're talking 5 hours and 15 minutes to complete it. But I completed it. And I really think if you have the capability of moving your body in that way, I think everybody should do a marathon at least one time. If you want to do more, great, but one time, because you do learn so much through the training, through all the ups and downs of it, right? Through the race itself. And the Honolulu Marathon is kind of a booger, because you come over this beautiful hill and you think, okay, I'm there. And then you see the banner and you're like, okay, I'm there. And it's like, oh no, just 2 miles left. You're like, and then you see another banner and you're like, okay, I'm there. 0.5 to go. And you're like, oh, come on. And you see another banner and you're like, come there. And you're like, no, 0.2. I'm like, okay. So it really does test you, obviously, not just physically, but mentally as well. So, just out of the gate, you start running marathons, or did you build up to this?
No, that was not, marathoning was not the plan. Marathon, it really was. This is the cheapest sport that I could do, because I already had a running shoes. According to me, those were good enough. And I had shorts and I had a tank top and a sports bra. So I just thought, okay, I can do this, right? So it really literally became, I don't have to be in a gym. I don't need people to do this. And I just started to put obstacles in my own, just set goals in my own, right? Let's do one loop around the park, and so when I met my now husband at that time, it was literally, I had told him already that what I wanted to do. And he told me, my sister runs half marathons. And I was like, what? She runs half marathons. She must be this amazing woman, which she is. She's incredible. Okay. To give her all the kudos but she literally is the one that said, oh, you can do that. You just have to find a group. And so, yeah, no kidding. Within 2 or 3 weeks of that conversation, my husband goes, hey, I have a client who is a friend of a friend, runs a running group. In case you want to go see them, they're starting to train here, blah, blah, blah. And once I connected with the right people, it was literally okay, we're going to be training for races, but the main race is the marathon. And I was not interested. So I kind of no, let me do some 5Ks first. And so I did. And then I was like, wow, the next thing I know, I'm running a 10-mile race. And I'm like, wow, that's almost a half marathon. Then I'm running a half marathon. And now I'm realizing that every time I finish a half marathon, my stamina is still there. I'm like, I have no idea where this is coming from. And then is when I realized, well, if I can do a half marathon and feel the way that I feel, I'm going to try to do a marathon. And that's when I went back to the training group. And through that training group, I just fell in love with the community, with the dynamics, with the rituals, with the training. And I had no idea that my inner scientist was going to come out as far and as wide. It is still to this day. It is, I have such a thirst for sports science knowledge. Like if you talk to me about, nutrition or physiology or biomechanics, I'm like, I just get so excited because I know the benefit that it is to have a body that can move and to give the body that can move the best possible ways to do it, right? The best nutrition, the best recovery. So I love reading to get informed, scientific reading. That's how marathoning all became just part of my nature. And I don't know if you know this, and probably you do, but marathoning is it's not a natural distance. And so it's not a natural distance. In fact, the first marathoner, as we all know, right, Philippides, died when he arrived to Athens to get, so it's not. And so for me, that means that I'm doing something that not a lot of people can do. And that's why I think marathoning is so particularly appealing to me, because it's such a privilege to complete marathons time and time again. And it's just, to me, it's just, that's what it is. I feel like I'm Superwoman. Just give me the costume, give me the, I'm ready to go. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, your enthusiasm and your energy, it definitely exudes all of that. I want to go back to this idea of the community, because obviously running is a solo, endeavor, can be. And the power of community, especially when you're taking on something that's not natural for a human to be doing, right? These extreme distances. So talk a little more about finding this community, and then all the differences and the benefits that you really found because of this connection.
Okay. So it's life-changing. Let's just put it that way. It is you being you. There's no facade. There's no, I am the CEO, or I am the engineer, or I am the doctor, or I am the teacher. Like, there's no, this is who I am. You really show up with who you really are. And so at 4:30 a.m., no makeup, ready to hit the road with a group of people who are doing it exactly for the same reason that I am doing it, to there's so many reasons why people do this, right? But at the end, everyone's doing it because they want to achieve something. They want to accomplish something. They want to feel like their life is worth living. And so these people will, cheer you. They will hold you. They will bond with you in pain. They will, these are the kind of people that 20 years later, I can pick up the phone call and say, I need you, and they will be there. They are so resilient and disciplined and committed. Like, it's almost like scary that we have so many of these things in common. Yet it's funny that when we meet each other in places that it's not running related, we're like, who are you? Like, I don't know who you are. Like, I know you as you. I don't know you as Dr. such and such, or I don't know you as, I've met people who people are like, oh my gosh, this member of that community. It's so, and I'm like, oh yeah, Robert? Yeah, of course I know. Like, streets named after his dad. It's like, what? Like, I have no clue. So when you meet someone, and when this community brings you in, you are who you are, who you are. There's no pretending you're faster. There's no pretending you are better than you say you are, because you can do that in life. You can tell people that you are such or such or such, but in running, none of that exists. And then when you get a group of people that are just there because they want to be there and they want to show up because you show up. I mean, how special is that? And then, of course, as you start traveling together, or you start doing events together, families meet, it's like you have this network of people who truly just want what is best for you. They cheer you on. They are sweating it out. They're showing what they got, and they infuse you with that. Because I don't know about you. I don't drive my exercise through motivation and inspiration. I don't. I like that. That's a beautiful cherry on top. But that's what these people do for me. They inspire me. They motivate me, right? They're my cherry on top. Now, I run marathons by myself, right? This is the person that I run. But to do it with someone else, I always say, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. So yeah, that's what the community has brought me. It's just overflowing with just goodness. I love the running community. Love it.
And I think it just highlights that we all need community. And whether you find it in a running group or elsewhere, having that network of support, people that will celebrate you and hold you accountable and cheer for you and literally hold you, and having this like mission, but also this shared experience, right? Because they're going through that too. That is what really connects us as humans. It's what helps create empathy, and it's what helps us have that feeling of belonging and psychological safety and all of those things that human beings, for our own mental well-being and physical well-being, we require that. And, in this age of technology and age of social isolation and all the things, I really encourage everybody to find community like that. And if you can find it and it has a movement angle to it, you're just going to get amplified benefits. 100%.
100%. You can't deny it. I mean, when somebody throws you a birthday party at 4:30 before you go out on a run, like, you're like, really? Like 4:30 in the morning, these people are like, balloons and cupcakes and confetti. You're like, who does that? That's the community. And that's what you need. You need to definitely find connection, whatever it is. And I will tell you, different running communities have because of the running goals, like, the ultra running community, the marathon running community, right? The trail running community. They're different. Marathoners are very specific. And I don't know. I love that. I love that I can find, whatever it is that I'm looking for within a safe space. And I love running with people like that. Yes.
So talk to me about a marathon on every continent. Just a couple of things. One, are you sponsored? I can imagine that's very expensive. And two, how do you pick which ones you're going to do?
Oh my gosh. Okay. So marathon in every continent is something that, there's a certain allure in there for me, because to me, my favorite thing to do, other than spending time with my family, my favorite thing to do is travel and sleep. Okay. Like check and check. So I don't know what it was when I started running marathons. I don't know how it became a thing, because it wasn't before, that you would just travel to go run in a place. And I was like, how interesting would that be to actually get to know, to get to travel a city, or just get to know the people, or get to know like the space where you're at by foot. Like, that's so interesting to me. So every time that I would travel anywhere, right, I would take my running shoes, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this would be a beautiful place to run. And then I thought, are there some interesting places in the world that I would like to get to see? Now, there's all kinds of, there's marathons wherever you go, right? There's themed marathons, there's wine marathons, there's midnight marathons, there is rock and roll marathons. There's so many, right? But to me, traveling the world by foot, like in a figurative sense, is like almost like a dream. It's just like, it's like a dream of a lifetime. Am I sponsored? No. Do I work really hard and try to really, really, really hard to make, high paychecks on whatever I do? Yes. I used to be sponsored by the company, by INEOS, and that was within the pandemic years. And it wasn't for me to run the marathons per se, but for me to be a spokesperson to go and run and teach children about the benefits of running and movement and, focus and all the good mental things, right? But I can tell you that I think that the best money spent is money spent making memories. So I don't have goals of having a brand new car. I don't have a goal of owning a designer purse. I don't have, and none of those goals have anything wrong. Like you do you, boo, right? Like you can have any goal you want. My goals are saving to get to see the world. And my husband, thank God, he is my biggest cheerleader and supporter. He is an incredible part of the reason why I do what I do is he knows that I get so much love and goodness and everything out of it that when mama comes back, mama is so happy and so fulfilled. Mama's good. Like she's just like, okay, how can I help you? What can I do? And he does not like traveling. So it's not that I don't like traveling, therefore you can't go. And also we are very atypical in the way that I come from a Hispanic culture. And from what I understand, trust me, from what I understand, because I don't get it and I've never gotten the pushback of it. But from what I understand, women in the Hispanic culture is not seen very, I guess, okay for a woman to travel by herself. But mind you, first of all, I am 5'10", and you've seen me, you've seen my build, right? I would say I'm not easy to put away quickly, right? I can't be stowed, okay? I am cargo, right? And so I'm not afraid. I'm not scared. I know very well, because I've traveled so much on my own to take care of myself, that I just thought, let's do this. Let's do the world. I complete the world majors, which everybody wanted, in the marathoning world, that's like the golden grail, right? If you get to Boston, if you get to qualify for Boston, which I've done many, many years, and I've ran the Boston Marathon many, many times. If you get to do that, but then you get to go to every single one of the majors, if you get to go to Chicago, New York, Boston, Tokyo, London, and then Berlin, right? Now they're adding another one. Well, I just added Sydney. I was able to be the first group of people who did Sydney. And as an Ecuadorian, I got my record there as the first Ecuadorian female to finish, to complete the 7. It is now there. It's open for the next continent, which is going to be Africa. And they're thinking on adding South Africa, Cape Town to the. So once I thought, I've already done Sydney. I've run marathons in North America. I've done them in Europe. I've done them in Asia. What else is there left? And when I found out there are marathons in, everywhere in the world, specifically one, which I thought I could never do because, oh my gosh, who would do that? Antarctica. There are marathons in Antarctica. I could not believe it. And that's going to be, in a few years. You do have to save a little bit more for that one. But just getting to see the world, that's it. Just getting to know the people, meet the people, eat the food, enjoy, breathe the air. That's it. That's all it is for me. It's about connection and just wellness and wholeness and all of the things.
That's incredible. Let's talk a little bit more about INEOS, because I also have, a deep desire to get our youth active and healthy, and it is not going in the right direction. Yeah. Despite all of our awareness and all the things we know, it is only getting worse. So tell me a little bit more about what INEOS is. And
oh my gosh,
what you do and how that's
absolutely. Oh my gosh, that was a dream. So unfortunately, like I said, I began right before the pandemic. They got me in. INEOS is incredibly so. If you look it up, INEOS is a petrochemical company. However, the founder, the CEO of INEOS, is a man from England. His best friend died of a heart attack. He was not in the best shape. He had a health scare. And he realized that no matter how much money you have, if you don't have health, you have nothing. So he seriously changed his own life and his own outlook on what a good health driven company within his company, petrochemical, which, you would never think it's like, what, right? If he could show people that by keeping their staff healthy, he could do, like, their company could do better. He just wanted to prove it, right? With that being said, they started sponsoring some of the biggest athletes in the world. In fact, INEOS sponsors, I don't know if you know, Eliud Kipchoge, who's the fastest man alive, marathoner, right? He beat the 2-hour mark in the marathon. It's never been done. Who sponsored it? INEOS, right? So INEOS sponsored the Grenadiers, which is the fastest cycling team in the world. They sponsor the America's Cup. They sponsor a lot of like very, very high level athletes, right? When that came to be, one of the philanthropic desire to make this world a better place through movement was there. There was a movement in Scotland called the Daily Mile. And it was this teacher who would say, you know what? The kids do better when we give them a little break during the day. We take them out for 15 minutes, have them run around, like run all the stuff out. Connections happen, movement happens, sweat happens, oxygen happens, and we get the kids to do better mentally, emotionally, socially. They get to say things that they would have never said in the classroom. Those personalities come out. The kids that can't really do well in the classroom will do really well in the track. Like, it was amazing. So INEOS heard it. INEOS loved it. And INEOS adopted the Daily Mile. It is the largest kids running program in the world. Okay. And of course, we try to make it way more well known over here, right? And the offices here in the United States are in Houston, super close to where I live. So when that opportunity came to me, I was like, and I get to speak in front of children and talk to them. And we had these races, and it was like, it almost looked like a marathon, right? Like, with like all of the enclosures, and they had t-shirts and they had bibs. And man, oh man, I'm telling you, I did it because I was a teacher in the classroom prior to being, a sponsor athlete with INEOS. But then when I went back to the classroom for those last 2 years before I stepped out and I am doing what I'm doing, I implemented the Daily Mile, and man, my children, I'm telling you, those relationships with me, with each other as a classroom, their grades, I gave everything. And people will tell me, well, Wendy, how are we going to have time to teach? I'm like, you still do. In fact, it's so much more effective. But the teachers didn't want to do it. So it starts from like, if the adults don't want to do it, then why would the children want to do it? And so I proved it. I was and it's just, to me, that little 15 minutes brought me conversations that would just break your heart. It brought me connections that I will never forget. It brought me moments that will live with me forever. As an educator, as a mama, I think that we need more of that. But we need the adults. Like I told you when I started running, there was one person who believed in me. I want that adult to believe in them, and for them to see that, yes, you can do it. You can move. You can feel better by moving. You can connect by moving. And so that to me was what INEOS brought, what the Daily Mile brought. it was, to me, was like my favorite thing that I have ever done is just being able to just be out there with the kiddos. Yeah.
And I can only imagine the impact that it had on each of those kids as well. And they are going to take that and remember that at some point and decide that movement is going to be part of their lives, right?
Yes.
So let's now segue into what you do now, helping busy people, be their best versions of them through your company, Hello Freedom. So tell me a little bit about what that looks like.
Oh my gosh, what that looks like. Sometimes it looks like just serious conversations about goal setting habits, right? It looks like nutrition and the aspects to where, especially I work mostly with people like healthy, active individuals. So most of them already are doing something, right? They're either working out or they're running or they're biking or, they already are in some kind of activity. What I like to do is I like to connect them with simple steps, simple, very nonsensical solutions to creating better habits in their daily lives. So it doesn't have to be I like the science part. I get really excited about the science part, but we're not talking the same language. Okay. And so I make it very simple and very chewable, very digestible. And I give them simple steps. In fact, I have a Facebook group called Simple Steps, okay, to health and wellness. And so what I like to do is I just like to focus, first of all, as the person in their whole humanity. What do we need first, right? So we focus in the sleep. Number one, we focus on the nutrition. We focus on that when the sleep and the nutrition are first, we can figure that out. Then we can focus on the rest, right? Because no athlete is an athlete first and a human next. Okay. It's the opposite, right? So we have to see the athlete as a human first and to see what is it that, so what I do is I connect them, through, with peptides. I connect them with nutritionists. I connect them with sports doctors and chiropractors and, sports medicine so I am really their source of, Maggie, this is happening. What can I do? So in a way, I'm not just coaching athletes to run marathons, but I'm also coaching them on how to perform in their daily lives, how to make time for exercise, how to do things that just to prioritize, I guess, what health and wellness is. And I always tell them the goal here is not a specific body, composition. The goal here is for you to be able to play with your children, with your grandchildren, to place boxes in high spaces when you have no one around, to be able to run a lawnmower outside. And for me, it's about living. Movement is about living. And yes, you can have some very hairy, scary goals, like running in every continent, but you also have to remember that we are all aging bodies. We're all aging bodies. So I am trying to prepare my body for the golden years. And I hope that is what that's the focus. I mean, I want to prepare people because people think it's, there's time. No, there's not, because right now is where we put all our money into our savings, into our health savings account, right? So that's what I do with my company. That's mainly what I do, but there's so much. I mean, there's so many hats. Sometimes in the hat, hey, do you mind just giving my daughter a pep talk? Absolutely. Let's go. There's all of that.
So you're basically training people for life, right? Like to live life. Whenever I travel, people know I pack way too much and my suitcase is always heavy, which because I have a little bit of status, I don't have to pay for it. So it's fine. And I can lift it. But every time, so it's like, oh my gosh, this is so heavy. I'm like, yep, that's why I work out, so that I can do my life and not have a problem doing my life.
Absolutely.
Right? My friend, she was hauling her hiney from one end of the, terminal to the other to catch her connection. And she's like, this is why I train. so that I can do my life. And I agree. Like, we think it's all just going to stay the way it is, right? I'm fine now. So certainly in 20 years, I'll be just as fine. No, no, you're not going to be. It is putting in the work now so that you can continue to be fine. And maybe even let's be more than fine. Like, let's have that goal of being more than just fine. Like, let's be optimal. Let's be the best we can be. And obviously a physically strong human is really kind of required to be able to get through life in that way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I agree 100%. And just knowing that there is life out there, that people don't just, I mean, there's a saying that the Tarahumaras, which is a running community in the Copper Canyon in Mexico, they run from the moment that they can walk, they run. And they run with these huaraches, which is it's like a sandal, right? And they run ultra marathons through these canyons with their, with all of their costumes and their everything. They say they do not stop running when they get old. They get old because they stop running. And I love that. I love that because that speaks to me. I don't want to stop moving, because moving means that I'm not growing. And growing means that, and not growing means the other way that I don't want to think about that. I want to think about a healthy lifestyle for a healthy aging.
Yeah. I love it. And that's why I knew you'd be great on the show, because we think exactly alike. So anything before we officially wrap up, anything that we haven't covered that you want the listeners to know?
Just that if there is one thing that you could do to live this world better than you found it, is connecting with humans, serving humans. And if that means that you are going to tell your neighbor to go out for a walk because you know they need it. And the best way to connect, by the way, the best talks you could ever have are walking talks. Okay? Like, they're the best, right? Because imagination comes to play, tears can flow. There's also, I would say, motivate someone that doesn't do it yet to do something about their health. I wish that my dad would have had some kind of guidance or some kind of friendships around that allowed him, if he could have, because he was moving. But once he got sick, nobody told him that he still could move. Like, he could still do something. He didn't have to stop. And I wish that if there was one thing that people could do, is, if you're already doing something, take someone with you. Take someone with you, just because you don't know what kind of goodness comes out of this exercise. To me, it's overflowed my whole entire life. I'm a more disciplined, committed, motivated, empowered self because I do this. And the more people that I can take with me and bring them, and I hope someone who's listening to this really takes this to heart, you're going to be doing something really, really good. And if you're a spiritual being, you know who's watching. Just know he's watching, okay? You're serving people. And please, please, please don't think just because you're not a runner, or you're not a heavy weight lifter, or you're not a Olympic swimmer, you can't go out there and identify as a person who moves, as an athlete or a beginning athlete or whatever, but just go there, identify, and take your friends with you. Please do.
I love that. So beautiful. So great. Maggie, thank you so much. As I knew it would be a very infectious, inspiring conversation. And I am very confident a lot of people listening to this are probably going to go find their shoes and decide to get out there, whether it's for a walk or a run or hit the gym or go dance. They're going to do something. They're going to move their bodies, because if you can't figure it out, that is where this energy comes from, right? So thank you so much for coming on. And listeners, now it is your time to go and be a better being.
Thank you for listening to the Be a Better Being podcast. We hope that what you heard today inspires you to embrace this journey of life with an open mind, a kind heart, and a willingness to learn and evolve. If you have a show topic idea or would like to be a guest, please visit betterbeings.net and fill out a contact form. Until next time, go and be a better being.